Hey everyone, welcome to Steph and Key TV. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps our channel. And let me know what you thought of today's video. All right, New Jersey, let's get into it. We open up with Melissa and Joe and the kids. They're at their beach house. It's beautiful. I want a beach house so bad. But they're celebrating Joe's birthday. The youngest one, Joey, hasn't said happy birthday, so it's bothering Joe. I guess because he's the baby, so he's spoiled. But Melissa sends the kids to go get some crabs, and her and Joe are just talking about the whole Jackie and Teresa thing. They believe that Teresa heard the rumor. I don't. I feel like she made it up. But they believe that Teresa heard the rumor, and they just feel like how she did it was wrong. So Melissa's like, Joe, you're the only one who can get through to her. I don't think that's gonna happen. Like, I feel like no one can get through to Teresa. Like, no one. When she's focused on something, that's the end of it. But she recommends that he talk to her, so he's gonna do it and try to like smooth things over. I don't think that's gonna go well. But yeah. But then Joe says that he would like to see some lingerie for his birthday. Melissa's like, oh God. So you know how they are. They're very like, Joe's like always all over her and stuff. But I mean, it's his birthday. Show him a little lingerie. So now we're at Jennifer's place, and she's got that big old house with all them kids. None of them listen to her, except for one. You always gotta have that one. But her sister's over. They're all having like lunch with the kids, and the kids go swimming. And she's talking to her sister about her sister supposedly going to Turkey to visit their brother, his wife, and the new baby. And their father mentioned that he might want to go along, but now they feel weird because the parents are still not getting along. And if she takes the father to Turkey, the mom's gonna feel left out. And it's just like, this is really Jennifer's storyline for this season. Do we not all see this? This is her storyline. This Jennifer is like Robin from Potomac, Teddy from Beverly Hills, and Cynthia from Atlanta. Like, no storyline, boring. Like, why? Whatever. So they're trying to figure out how they're gonna make the peace between the parents. Maybe both of them can go to Turkey and they just don't talk to each other. I don't know. Dolores and David. So Dolores is at David's house. He comes home from work and on his motorcycle, and it looks like he has like a few in his garage. I'm like, okay, Dr. David. He's got like a few motorcycles. Comes in, takes his motorcycle jacket off. Dolores and David are talking. She just got off the phone with Frank about him doing construction on her kitchen. So she's remodeling her house, which is some point of contention between her and David, because he's like, I built this house for us. You didn't move in. She's like, well, I thought we were getting engaged after you built the house. We didn't get engaged. Why didn't we get engaged? He starts making excuses about, well, you're so busy and stuff. And it's just like, oh my gosh. This relationship. So they're like bickering, and she's just like, well, when I come over here, I want to spend more time with you, not you on your computer. And he's like, I got work. So like they're trying to make a pact to spend more time together and be more present. He's like a doctor that works all the time. Like, we rarely see him. So I don't know how that's going to work. She wants a commitment. He still hasn't given her one. So like, what is this? Like, I can't even care anymore. Like, this is the relationship she wants. This is the relationship she's dealing with. So if you want to deal with this, Dolores, by all means, best of luck to you, because I could not. So Joe and Melissa are out with her sisters, their husbands, and it's Joe's birthday, his 46th birthday. Thanks, Melissa, for putting his whole age out there. But they're having some drinks. They're waiting for Teresa because she's always late. She finally shows up, and they're having some more drinks, and she wants like vodka with pineapple, and Melissa's like, tell everybody why you want pineapple. She tells everybody, well, I guess while they were in Lake George, when she was talking to Tony, she told him, oh, I eat a lot of pineapple, so I taste sweet. And I'm like, okay. But then she talks about how she doesn't want the pool boy. I'm like, you don't be telling guys that you taste sweet unless you want to be with them. Girl, a mess. But she's saying all of this in front of her brother, talking about she wants her peach kiss. I'm like, oh my gosh. Never. Like, no, your sex life in front of your brother, like, girl, stop. So they're laughing and joking with her, talking about how horny she is. And she's just talking about, well, like, I'm in my 40s, like, it's time to get moving. And Teresa says, like, you know, she didn't have a lot of dating experience because her parents were so strict. And Melissa talks about how strict her parents, how she wasn't allowed to do anything either. So that's why she allows Antonia to, like, date and have a boyfriend. She's had this boyfriend, like, for, like, 2 years, but now she needs to have the birds and the bees talk with her. And I'm like, ooh, 15? You were, like, really late with this convo. But, like, Joe's sitting on the side, and you know, dads, they're just like, eh. So, like, I'm sure this is gonna be interesting. So Melissa says, I'm gonna, because they all ask her, like, what are you gonna ask Antonia? And she's like, well, I'm gonna say, you've been dating the same guy for 2 years. Has he touched you? So they're, like, freaking out. Joe's like, change the subject. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to hear about it. So then they hop over to Teresa. She's having a pool party. Joe suggests that she invite Jackie. And she's like, what? I'm not inviting her. And she starts going off about the Gia thing. She tells Melissa's sisters what Jackie said, and they're freaked out. But they're also like, so what did you do? And Joe and Melissa say, like, we went to her get together. She apologized about the Gia thing. I don't really know if she apologized. I didn't hear the words I'm sorry from Jackie, but tomato, tomato. She did own up to the fact that, like, hey, it was wrong. It was totally an analogy. So they're fine with it. They're trying to get Teresa to see that she was wrong. She, of course, doesn't see it. And so but Joe is like, it's my birthday wish that you just squash things, invite her to the pool party. And so she's gonna send a text, but, like, they're like, but don't say this and don't say this. So then she's like, all right, Melissa, you send the text because you're better at this than me. So it turns out that Teresa's also inviting Michelle, the realtor, who's been talking trash about Joe behind his back. But they can't really get too mad at her because they just convinced her to invite Jackie to her pool party, so they should be okay with her inviting Michelle. But she told them that she told Michelle, like, I'm not gonna list my house with her until she works it out with you. She said she's gonna work it out with you. So this pool party will be a great chance for them to squash it, even though I don't think that's what's gonna happen. I mean, this is Real Housewives. So Marge has her, I think it's like her ghostwriter over, and they're discussing her book. She's just talking about more about her backstory with her mother, like the instability, because her mother was an immigrant from Hungary and just really was poor. So the only thing she had was her good looks. So she used that to her advantage. And so Margaret grew up learning that and just really used her looks as a way to survive. And she just had, she thought marrying her ex-husband, Jan, I believe, was going to bring stability because he was older. He had 3 kids, and so they got together. She had her kid. She ended up having her son, and then tried to start her business a few years later. But if you're an entrepreneur, you know that the hustle and the struggle is real, and her husband just didn't see any value in it, and they had, you know, tumultuous relationships. So she feels like when she met Joe, she was able to be vulnerable and just be real and have a stable relationship, even though, you know, no relationship's perfect and they have their fights, but it's like the best adult relationship she's ever had. And she feels like she didn't really come into her own until her early 40s when she met Joe. So it's just very interesting. I feel like she's gonna have, like, a really good book, and I might read it. Maybe. We'll see. So Teresa's getting ready for her pool party, but she's also on the phone with Joe, her ex, and they're just discussing the divorce papers. She asks him if he likes her outfit. He says, you look all right for an old lady. She says, old lady my ass. But it seems like the divorce is going very smoothly. They're about to be, like, done, which is great, because I would not want to have a long, drawn out, miserable divorce with someone who's all the way in Italy. So it's good that she's going to be done with him for the most part. I mean, they still got kids together, so that's good. Melissa is on the phone with Joe Gorga, her Joe. There's so many Joes in the show. Melissa's on the phone with her Joe, and she's just telling him to hurry up and get home so they can get ready for the pool party. He's like, Joe is so like, just all about the sex. He's like, are you gonna have a bikini on when I get home? And she's like, oh my gosh, yes, maybe. And he's like, I'm gonna hit that before we go to the party. And she's like, who talks like that? Like, I'm also like, girl, why are you surprised that your husband's an animal? You know, he's been this way every episode, like nothing changes. So Dolores tells Frank that Teresa's inviting Michelle, the realtor lady, and he's thinking like what everyone else, well, what I'm thinking, like, why is Teresa inviting these people that are talking trash about her brother? Do you know how Joe gets when he has a temper? And they show flashbacks of the two Joes fighting in the past. There's just like so much violence on this show, but they're always talking about Real Housewives of Potomac in Atlanta. So it's just like, okay. But I mean, I like, it's not like we don't like to see the fights. It's just like it needs to be called out more on all of the shows. That's all I'm saying. Because I don't mind seeing the guys fight. I feel like it's hilarious. So now we're at Teresa's pool party. Joe and Melissa show up first. Melissa's bathing suit, she got a one piece, but it's super high. So she made sure she got that bikini wax done. Oh yeah, Teresa asks about Jackie, and Melissa's like, yeah, I saw her. And then they show like a little flashback of Melissa and Jackie talking. And Jackie's like, why would I bring my husband to her pool party? And Melissa's like, because it's an olive branch. Jackie tells Melissa to tell Teresa to take that olive branch and shove it up her ass. And Teresa's like, well, tell her I don't like it in my ass. She says, tell her maybe she should do it to her husband and he won't cheat. That was kind of funny to me. I'm sorry. Because she's like, now I'm done. I'm not reaching out anymore. It is what it is. I don't know what to tell Jackie at this point. She can be as mad as she wants. I feel like she's very justified in being angry at Teresa for how she spread this whole nasty stuff. But Jackie is also on a reality show. If she's not going to shoot with the other women, I don't know how she expects to survive on the show. So we'll see. But at the pool that Tony did, the pool looks beautiful. So I'm sure she's going to be able to really enjoy it, have more and more pool parties until she moves. But I think he did an amazing job. And I see why she wore that little bikini for him, even though she said she wore it for her. I'm sure she wore it for herself, but I'm pretty sure Tony's invited. So Teresa comes out with her pineapples, asking all the ladies if they eat a lot of pineapples. So Joe tells Frank about the whole pineapple thing, and Frank is amazed. And he's like, you can control how you taste by what you eat? This is news to him and Joe. So like they're like astounded by this revelation, and I think it's hilarious. So of course Teresa has to bring up the fact that she loves that Jackie's not there. Marge is defending Jackie. Melissa's just like, all right, like you guys are never going to be best friends, but it would be great if you could just be in the same room together. And Dolores says, well, that might happen because I'm inviting everyone over to my place because I'm being awarded for breast cancer awareness. So we'll see if we can make this happen. And so much for that. Teresa's going to be out of town for some soccer tournament for one of the kids. So this is going to drag out forever. So Michelle, the realtor, and her husband show up. Immediately, Joe's like, I forgot the guy's name. He calls Michelle's husband over, like, immediately. Like, let's go have a conversation. So they go talk, and then Michelle comes over to the ladies and says hi, and Melissa's like, we need to handle this right now. Why are you talking ish about us behind our backs? And she's like, well, it's true. And she's like, well, if you felt that way, Melissa's like, if you felt that way, I wish you'd have pulled me inside. Instead, you went behind my back. And Michelle tries to dance around it. I'm glad that Dolores and Marge were there because they're like, no, you're wrong. You shouldn't have went behind her back talking about it at the party. That's what made it the worst part. And so finally, Michelle's laid back into a corner. She agrees that it was wrong. She's like, but this really has nothing to do with me. So that's why I brought my husband here so he can work it out with your husband. So whatever, they're squashed. Melissa's like, all right, fine, we're done. It's cool, it's fine. I'm gonna go get a drink. Meanwhile, like Joe and the husband, so it appears that Michelle's husband thought that him and Joe had a handshake deal to split the profits off of the first event. In Joe's mind, he felt like it wasn't this event, it was going to be like, we work this out together. If it goes well, future events will split the profits. So they didn't have anything in writing. So, it doesn't matter what Michelle's husband says, whether it's true or not, there's no proof. So they just agreed that in moving forward, if they do any deals, we'll have it in writing, which he should have did the first time if he wanted to get paid. But he says, like, all I ask is that you let my wife sell your sister's house. We're done. Because she's going to get a nice fat commission off of that house. And I feel like it's going to be the money that he was expecting to get anyway. So he's like, let's just sell his house and we'll call it even. Joe's like, fine, moving forward, we're good. So that's squashed. At least like his wife gets to sell that house. Because like I feel like if she was not selling Teresa's house, this storyline would have dragged on much longer. But it's wrapped up in this episode, so I'm glad we're done. But I still don't trust that Michelle lady, and I hope after this she sells Teresa's house, we don't have to see her anymore because I don't like her at all. I'm gonna need this camera guy to get it together because we keep getting these zoom ins and close-ups of all these asses, and like I don't need to see that. First, it was like Teresa at the Lake George house. Like, the camera guy was on her ass like the whole time. And now at this party, we keep getting shots of all these asses. Just like, get it together. So then Tony the pool guy comes. Everybody's like having a good time. Teresa's flirting. She's living it up. Jennifer has too much of a good time and gets wasted. Like, falling over, dribbling water on herself, like wasted. So they're trying to get her together and they're like, Bill, come get your wife. So Bill comes, he picks her up and he's carrying her out, struggling a little bit. The other Joes come running over. They're trying to help him get her into the car. She's a mess. So then we get a flashback of last season when Bill got wasted and the guys brought him home and they were picking, like, I think Frank had him over his shoulder. So like the Aidens really cannot hold their liquor and it's a sloppy mess. Everybody's laughing and that's the end of this episode. Please let me know what you thought of the episodes in the comments below. Not a lot going on, but I feel like I don't mind the lighthearted episodes here and there. So, because sometimes the drama can be overwhelming, but I feel like more dramas to come, so we'll see. But make sure you like the video, hit that notification bell so you're in the know when I release a new video, and subscribe. I would love to have you a part of Steph and Key TV. Stay safe, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!